to read it when it's like this. Welcome at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, August 6, 2025. The Tooele City Council is meeting in a business meeting. This meeting is being held at Tooele City Hall in the council chambers located at 90 North Main Street in Tooele, Utah. We are also streaming this electronically on the Tooele City YouTube channel. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll please rise and repeat after me.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our second item is a roll call. Councilwoman Manzione.
Present.
Councilwoman Goches.
Present.
Councilman Hanson.
Present.
Councilman McCall.
Present.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I'm also present. Item 3 is a Tooele County Health Department 2024 Annual Report presented by Grant Sunada, the Tooele County Health Department Executive Director/Health Officer.
Check, is this on? Yep. All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the chance to introduce myself and, like was said, share an overview of how the health department is doing. Let's see. Oh, thanks for the slides, Loretta. Like was said, my name is Grant Sonata. Next slide, please, Loretta. I'll give a little introduction to myself, a little of my background, and then that overview. Next slide, please, and then a chance to discuss, see what you're seeing and hearing in in the community, and any things you want us to dig into more, or maybe funding we could explore, things like that. But for starters, wanted to start just with that introduction to myself. I start with my grandmothers. On the left, my grandma Sonata, she grew up in Granger, Wyoming, and then moved to Wyoming, and then ended up settling down. Her husband worked for Sears in Salt Lake. Now it's gone. That's a weird feeling. And then they lived in Logan for the rest of their lives, actually, for 50 years. So that's part of my roots, Cache Valley. I was mentioning this morning at the chamber meeting that Tooele Valley right now reminds me of Cache Valley in the 90s in terms of where we are with growth and things. So I know there's a lot of growing pains, but also opportunities, right? So, and the chance to really keep the roots strong. So I really relate to that from a Cache Valley perspective, if you don't mind me kind of connecting there. Also have my grandma Anderson. She's she grew up in Mapleton, and they ended up having a dairy farm up in Idaho. So my mom's a Idaho farm girl. So those are some of my roots. So I was really glad when I was able to, the upper picture there, take my family down to San Juan County. That's where we just moved from. We were there for 3 years, where I was in the same position, but in that county. And just appreciated having my family have that really small town experience. And now they come here and you're like, Tooele's a big city, right? Incredible, right? It's a weird feeling, I'm sure. But they're like, all the lights, it's so bright at night, right? But I know at least we can go not too far, right? And it's still a small town, right? And I appreciate the small town roots here. I can feel that. And you can see here we're just really enjoying the area. When the circus came to town, right, at the peak, we enjoyed that. So next slide, please. So one other personal note, my wife and I do enjoy dancing. Here's some of me just dancing in different places when I was doing public health work. And then on the bottom right, just around the corner here at the senior center, Elvis was in the building, and so we were just loving that. So the seniors could definitely dance better than I could, but just didn't matter. We were just having a good time. So just part of my sense of wellness, and appreciate any music that's lively and gets everybody moving. So next slide, please. From a professional perspective, I did start out in education. I was ESL-8 in Logan at Adams Elementary, and then joined a teaching program in LA. So I do have that big city experience as well. But life happened, and I was like, oh, this isn't quite working out, and I needed to move back home all of a sudden because of a life thing. And thankfully, someone told me, hey, how about public health? So I actually did a master's in public health at BYU. I did my a project in Cambodia at that time for my master's. That's where some of these pictures are from. That was a maternal health project. I was able to interview recent mothers to find out about their birth decisions, where to give birth, and with whom. And it was just a powerful experience. And there I am going with a village health support group member, similar to a local board of health here, and working together with the community. And that was really has been the theme the rest of my career. Worked with Utah County Health Department on a youth health project that was focus groups talking to youth at alternative high schools about their decisions, how they make health choices. Worked at the diabetes program at the state for 4 years. We had some funding that was awarded to Tooele County here, worked with Myron Bateman and Jeff at the time, and they hired on a part-time basis Eileen DeLue to organize the Diabetes Coalition here. And I was just so inspired by her work. She's continued to be a friend and a mentor, actually. When I came over here to do the interview for the position, I spent some time on the phone with Eileen. And so really honored to, in a roundabout way in this story, be here. In between there, I went back to the university, to a university setting, did my PhD in public health. That's the Utah Coalition for a Healthier Community for Utah Women and Girls. This was women coaching women on how to set health goals. And so what I looked at was how the coaches were using things like empathy and setting those person-centered goals, and found that helped people stay in the program if we were more empathetic. And then also looked at how eating better and being more active was related to depressive symptoms. And so that's really part of my work as well, trying to connect those dots, be it economic health, physical health, and mental health, things like that. Then I taught at the physician assistant program about community health, taking the students out into the community. But that's when COVID hit, and I realized I needed to be actually more in the community, and that's when the opportunity opened up in San Juan County, and it was just the right time for our family to make that transition. On the upper right, you can see a poster I did with the Board of Health there, Connection from Every Direction, and that was looking at the 4 directions from a Native American perspective, and how that there's a cycle to life and to every phase of our life as well. And that really informs my approach to public health as well. Looking at those natural cycles in life of growth through the seasons, for example. Every season has a reason for it. And so that can help us as we're saying, oh, there's a problem, but it's also an opportunity for growth. And then how do we keep going through that cycle? And you can see just some other pictures of me working with, that was with the Coalition for Utah Women and Girls on the bottom right there. So let's see, next slide, please. So that's part of my background. And then it's just, again, which is one of those things in life. Didn't know I'd be able to come here, but it's an honor to work with the Board of Health as well as the whole staff. I had come here to do a workshop under Jeff Coombs for a staff retreat, and I was working in small groups with them, talking about how our backgrounds can really help us find common ground, but also value the different things we bring to the table. And you know, a couple of years later, here I am. So just a real honor. So a few highlights here from our report that you have a copy of. One is a RAD PAC, our affectionate title for it, Resisting Alcohol and Drugs Prevention Advocacy Coalition. You can see a picture here with Representative Peck and some of our youth advocates. And we've got our community events. I appreciate Melody Gochis, you came to the presentations across the street. And I know we talked about having the youth come do this same type of presentation. They're going to do a much better job than I am right now. I promise you that. And just talked with some of our team. Yeah, now with school starting, we like to follow up on that invitation and find a good time for them to come.
Perfect.
So, but any chance you all can engage with them at those events, anything is really powerful. Really one of the most important things we do, right, is working together with the youth. Another topic I'll highlight here is we had our big increase in the number of people we were able to train on suicide prevention. This was called QPR. It's question, persuade, and refer. So being able to recognize those sometimes subtle warning signs when someone's at a suicidal risk, considering it, or maybe even have plans, things like that. And being able to talk with them, that's back to the empathy word, right? And then be able to refer promptly to the right resources. And that's something for me that's exciting, that recognizing we can do these small and simple things to really make a difference at key moments in each other's lives and really be present and available for each other. Connection is something that we've worked together as a staff to talk about. How can we build connection as a team so that then we're connecting with the community and helping community all connect together to really support each other in both the struggles and successes of life. A few other highlights here, environmental health. We've had part of the growth in the county, right? Seeing that those gradual increases in their inspections, be it food trucks and food establishments, food handler permits as well, body art, and public pools. Others are staying steady, daycare and school inspections. And then on the bottom right, you see a photo of our streamlined household hazardous waste day that happened recently. And we got to sign up for that, so there's not a giant line of cars. Instead, you have an appointment, and you're able to take in your those things that you've been holding at the house. You're like, I can't take this to the dump. Where should I take it? And that's where we hope we can help you take care of that. Next slide, please. Another highlight is nurse home visiting. Our public health nurses are just, again, some of those really inspiring people in my life. They're able to work with families in high need and visit with the parents and say, hey, we have a questionnaire, let's fill this out. Where are you at with development with the kids? Is it cognitive growth or emotional growth? And last year, we had 37 of those questionnaires filled out. So far this year, 139. And a bunch of those are that emotional development component. And then being able to refer from there. So a really exciting project there. Another is infectious disease testing. Just seen this bit of an increase. This is kind of in the post-COVID era, an increase from what we've seen since COVID. And both testing and cases seeing an increase there overall. We are prepping for school flu clinics. We provide flu vaccines and and also preparing to inform the schools about how to be prepared in case there are any measles cases, because we are tracking that across the state and across the nation, just to make sure we're ready in case we have that come to Tooele. For Women, Infants, and Children program, WIC, we've had a 10% increase in the clients served between 2023 and 2024. So really, that's one of those opportunities when a family is in high need. We view it as a temporary intervention, so they can hopefully get on their feet and then be able to move forward and have that foundation of health for their kids. And not just physical health, but also have some of those parenting skills to really help their kids grow and perform well in school and in society. Overlapping there is an increase in the women's starting with breastfeeding once a child is born, seeing that 7% increase. We're really lucky to have internationally board certified lactation consultants. That's a fancy way to say that some of our nurses have this formal certification in supporting breastfeeding and some of the challenges that are lesser known and helping women navigate that, preparing during pregnancy and then after the child's born. For Aging Services, just received a prestigious Aging Innovations Award, part of the Next Chapter program. This was helping foster connection and improve mental health among our older adults in the county. You can see a picture there of Sarah receiving that award with Amy Hofteaser, our director, and then some of the program in action there. Next slide, please. Overall, our mission is to enhance the health and well-being across the county, and the vision has really spoken to me. Healthy and safe communities that allow all individuals to reach their full potential. We've been really focusing in on our employees lately, trying to make sure we have a healthy and safe workplace where our employees can reach their full potential, because we want to make sure we're on that journey and then work together with the community to do the same. So I've mentioned, connection being a theme, as well as a tool we've been using too is the Dignity Index. Things like when we're talking about challenging, sensitive, or even controversial topics, some of which we try to face head on. We want to address those with curiosity, even when sometimes we want to be curious and not furious. Sometimes we have to, check in on our emotions, be honest about those, but then see how we can shift that to a curiosity. And then that's really helped me as I've been in communities where it's like, hearing about a community concern, how do we work together to really define that, but also define community strengths, to combine those and then figure out how do we work together, and then evaluate after, how did it go and what do we do next. So that's kind of an ending point for me just speaking at you, and a chance to say, what are the next steps, what questions, what things are you seeing in the community? And I also appreciate that Jamie Zorin is here, Deputy Director, former Aging Services Director as well, longstanding staff member in our health department. So since I'm so new, I did start day after Christmas. It was a wonderful Christmas present for me and my family. But Jamie could answer any detailed questions you might have. So, yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to Tooele.
Thank you so much.
I can't remember what it was called. You could go buy fruit like at the local farmers markets, I guess.
Right.
It was very affordable and it was great, and I haven't seen that program around in a few years. I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head. But I would love to see something like that brought back.
Right. And maybe local foods too, right?
They were
Markets.
locally produced, yeah.
Yeah, it was a farmers market food voucher program.
Yeah.
And that was funding that came from the CDC to the state.
Okay.
And it was, we were able to participate in the pilot program. That funding, I'm sorry to say, ended. But one thing that we have been able to do is, with our older adults, we've been able to do a voucher program that's similar, where they can get fresh fruits and vegetables. So it's for older adults who are lower income. So it evolved into that program. I agree with you. I think
That was
that
great,
voucher
yeah.
program was amazing. And it really helped our local farmers here. And so it's kind of one of those win-win programs where you're helping the people who are producing the fruits and vegetables, and then those that are really needing it. So if there's a way that we can advocate for it again, we'll reach out and see what we can do as a community to try to get that program back.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Are there any other questions or comments?
I recently went with some of the members of the health department to the prevention conference, and I would just like to express my gratitude for the people that were there, really engaged. It was an engaging conference, learned a lot, and I think it can really help our community. A lot of the things they talked about there, because we do know there are drugs here. We do know there is some mental health issues here, and I think working together is a great idea to help tackle some of those things.
Thanks. Yeah, it was good to be there together at that, and to really break things down and say, okay, what is the risk factors relating in our community, and what we call them protective factors, right? And how do we promote those and work together on that? And so when a problem like violence, addiction, things like that, each of those have such a profound impact for us personally, on our families, neighborhoods, right? It's just completely, they are overwhelming experiences, right? But to break those down when it's overwhelming, to break it down into pieces together and say, what can we actually do? And on each of those levels, individual level, like I mentioned, our emotions, right? Our family level, our neighborhood level, and then like us here, community level. And I love working together to break that down and finding what can we do at each of those levels, and then coordinate. So, yeah. Thanks for making the trip to Bryce too.
Yes.
It was worth it.
Okay, well, we appreciate your time, and it was nice to get to know you.
Yeah, we'll look forward to future conversations on the side too. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next item, which is our public comment period. This is the time for the public to address the council. We ask that you state your name into the microphone. You keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then there's a paper by Shiloh. I had to make sure I didn't say Michelle, because I said that last time, that you have to sign. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public comment period. We'll move on to item 5, which is Resolution 2025-68, a resolution of the Tooele City Council consenting to Mayor Nguyen's appointment of Matthew C. Johnson to the position of Tooele City Attorney, presented by Mayor Debbie Nguyen.
Thank you, Chairman and Council. It is my honor tonight to bring to you a resolution to appoint Mr. we call him Matt Johnson, to the position of Tooele City Attorney. Matt received his Juris Doctor degree from the S.J. Quinney College of Law at the University of Utah. Go Utes. Yeah, got that one right. And he has also been licensed with the Utah State Bar as an attorney for nearly 23 years. We have been very fortunate to have him work here for us at Tooele City for the last 17 of those years, serving as an assistant city attorney. Matt, about a month ago, was really thrown into this position of filling in and for the position of the city attorney, and so he's been really doing 2 jobs. I have to let you know that he has an amazing staff that has helped to pick up those pieces and keep things moving along. The last 8 years that I have worked with Matt have been very rewarding. His demeanor is one of great knowledge, but calmness. And sometimes, I think sometimes when I go visit him, I'm not as calm as he is. So I appreciate that very much. We did interview other individuals for this position, and Matt was our choice to be serving as our city attorney. So I'm here tonight to ask for your support and consent of Matthew Johnson to the position of the Tooele City Attorney.
Any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2025-68, a resolution of Tooele City Council consenting to Mayor Nguyen's appointment of Matthew C. Johnson to the position of Tooele City Attorney.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman McCall and a second from Councilwoman Manzione. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0.
Thank you so much, and I do want to extend appreciation again to the staff in the attorney's office and also to Matt's family for your support and letting him work here at Tooele City. Thank you.
Okay. Item 6 is the swearing in of Matthew Johnson as Tooele City Attorney, administered by Shiloh Baker, the City Recorder.
I, Matthew C. Johnson,
Having been appointed to the office of city attorney,
having been appointed to the office of city attorney,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Matt. We're excited to work with you. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sorry. I just wanted to express my appreciation to the mayor and to the council. I know that you put a lot of faith in me, and I'll live up to that. And I wanted to echo the mayor's comments and thank Kelly and Kylie and Derek for keeping us afloat during the transition. Thank you to my family for putting up with me generally. And thank you for Atlas and Isla being here and staying in your seats.
I'm gonna read the next one when they're taking a picture. Item 7 is a public hearing and motion on ordinance 2025-23, an ordinance of Tooele City adopting the water use and preservation element to the Tooele City General Plan, presented by Andrew Agard, the Community Development Director.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the council. You are familiar with our water use and preservation element. We are proposing an amendment to the city's general plan by adding a new element to the general plan itself. We are doing this because state law requires us to have this element in our general plan that provides information on the city's efforts to appropriately use and preserve existing and future water resources. This is a good thing for a state like Utah, where water is a scarce commodity. The element was reviewed by the Tooele City Council during the July 16th work session meeting, and the element was also reviewed by the Tooele City Planning Commission at the July 23rd meeting. The Planning Commission recommended in favor of the element with some changes. 3 of those changes were: 1, removing the reference to specific software used by the city; 2, remove references to specific irrigation valves used by the city; and remove water pricing table from the element and include instead a description of where the reader can find current water pricing. The reason for the Planning Commission's recommendation was they didn't want the element to lock the city into any type of specific hardware or software, and since the water pricing changes from time to time, we don't want to be locked into that either. So there is also a recommendation for a small grammatical error to be changed. All those changes have been made according to those recommendations of the Planning Commission, and that was included in the draft that went to the City Council in your packet. Just for the public's information, I'd like to briefly go over what is in the element. Number 1 is an introduction, which basically explains what the water use and preservation element is, as well as some information regarding the existing Tooele City Water Conservation Plan, which has been previously approved and which did a lot of work for this element. There's also a background which explains why this is necessary, and then some information on the current conditions in Tooele City regarding our efforts to preserve and wisely use the city's water resources. There's some information there regarding ordinances and standards for new development in regards to water-wise landscaping and how we're making efforts for new development to conserve and wisely use our water. Some information there about education and training practices, rebates, incentives, and rewards for anybody who would like to have that information. Again, a link or some information on how to find current water pricing. Tooele City uses a tiered system, so the more water you use, the more you pay. And then how the city is dealing with improvements to the physical water system in regards to our parks and our water infrastructure. And then at the end, a section on consultations. So if you are interested in consulting various agencies about water conservation, that information is there. So this item is before you tonight for adoption, and once it's adopted, we will insert it into the existing general plan. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you.
Any questions or comments?
That's good.
Just I need a copy of it so that I can include it in my general plan.
I will send it to you.
Yes.
Thanks, Andrew. This item has a public hearing, so we invite the public to address the council. We ask that you state your name into the microphone, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then sign the paper by Shiloh. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public hearing and I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-23, an ordinance of the Tooele City adopting the water use and preservation element to the Tooele City General Plan.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman McCall?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 8 is a public hearing and motion on ordinance 2025-24, an ordinance of Tooele City reassigning the zoning map designation from mixed-use 160 multiple-use zone to the R17 residential zone for approximately .81 acres of property located at approximately 600 South Canyon Road, presented by Andrew Agard, the Community Development Director.
Thank you, council. This zoning map amendment is really more of a housekeeping amendment. However, we have to go through this process whenever we amend the zoning map. It involves the .8 acre parcel that's highlighted in red immediately south of Main Street and immediately west of Canyon Road. That is the Wigwam property located to the south, and then a city water reservoir located to the east. The current zoning of the property there's actually 2 zoning districts on the subject property. The brown is R17 and the green is MU160. The applicant's intent for the property is to subdivide the lot, or the parcel, into 4 single-family residential lots. In order to do that, the entire property has to be zoned R17. Now, why this zoning is like this, I don't know. I would guess that at some point in the past, the property owner did a lot line adjustment, rearranged some lot lines there, and the zoning map was not amended to follow those new boundary lines. The MU160 is a holding zone for areas where development is challenging due to slope, geologic considerations, drainages, and so forth. It permits single-family residential homes, but you really have to have a 160-acre lot. So it's a zone that's designed for conservation of open space in difficult or sensitive areas. It does permit agriculture and livestock production, and it prohibits commercial uses. The city's land use map designates the property as medium-density residential, which requires the R17, R18, and R110 zoning districts. And this is just a diagram showing the area of the property that would be reassigned to the R17 zoning, and then how the zoning map would appear if the R17 zone is assigned to the property. And then just for your information, the R17 zone is the most common zoning district, permits single-family and two-family dwellings, prohibits commercial uses, and does permit the keeping of animals, prohibits the keeping of animals other than household pets, chickens, ducks, and rabbits. That's the basics. Like I said, it's more of a housekeeping procedure, but if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer for you.
Are there any questions or comments?
There was one comment at Planning Commission about the traffic for the 4 houses on an unimproved road. And do you want to just talk about that for 1 second?
Yeah, the property owner he's a property owner up in the area. He lives on Canyon Road. I think he's a little farther north, but he was concerned that the addition of 4 new homes on this Canyon Road would create some congestion problems or other issues, and the road does need some improvement. The plan that I've seen by the property owner shows 2 lots that would access Canyon Road and 2 lots that would access Main Street through the existing easement that is used to provide access to the wigwam. Development on that property will require improvements to the frontage on Canyon Road, so if anything, it's going to improve the conditions there. But that is definitely an area that does need to be addressed. Are 2 homes going to generate enough traffic to really cause any problems? Probably not. So,
Are there curb and gutter on Canyon Road?
I don't think there's any curb and gutter up there.
Would this development be required to do that?
Along his
On
frontage.
their lots, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair, I did have a question on access to the 4 different lots. There's only access to Canyon Road. Can you kind of explain
Yeah.
how people would get to their designated lot?
So if you look to the west, there is an existing largely unimproved lane extending from SR 36 to the Wigwam. There is an easement there that the applicant does have a right to use. And so 2 of those lots would be using that easement if that connects to Main Street. It's currently used to access the Wigwam property as well. So that's how 2 of those lots would be accessed.
I can see access to one, but I don't know how they get to the second one.
He's going to be using a flag lot.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So they are not required to do any improvements to that access road, though, are they?
Well, that's going to be an interesting discussion during the subdivision process. Kind of a unique situation. I would say at this point, probably not.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, thanks, Andrew. This item also has a public hearing. We invite the public to address the council. We ask that you state your name into the microphone, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and sign the paper by Shiloh. The time is now the public's. Seeing no one come forward, I will close the public hearing and I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve ordinance 2025-24, an ordinance of Tooele City reassigning the zoning map designation from MU 160 multiple use zone to R17 residential zone for approximately 0.81 acres of property located at approximately 600 South Canyon Road.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman Hanson and a second from Councilwoman Manzione. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 9 is ordinance 2025-25, an ordinance of Tooele City updating the city code by amending Tooele City Code Title 10, Traffic Code, Chapter 3, Part 5, and Part 24, presented by Adrian Day, the police chief.
Evening, council. From time to time, we get asked to enforce Code 10.3.24, parking in roadways without a curb. We discussed this in a previous work meeting. More recently, we've been asked many times to enforce this at a certain area. It's a small road. In enforcing it, we have found it's worded poorly and hard to uphold to an appeal if we do cite for it. I think we had agreement with everybody on that from the work meeting. And we also discussed Code 10.3.27 that we could enforce storage if they're using it for storage the right of way. And there was some hesitation about completely getting rid of this code because if we have a small road and this interferes with traffic. We do have Code 10.3.5 currently in use, parking not to obstruct traffic. No one can park in the public right of way if it leaves 10 feet or less of width for the roadway, so vehicle traffic can move. I spoke to Fire Chief McCoy. His apparatus that he would like to get in there is 10 feet. He suggested switching that to 12. And I think that with those two codes, storage and 10.3.5, not to obstruct, we could essentially get rid of Code 10.3.24 and be good on enforcement. That vehicle traffic can move through. We could get a brush truck through and be fine.
Are there any questions or comments?
I think this is a good compromise.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve ordinance 2025-25, updating the city code by amending Tooele City Code Title 10, Traffic Code, Chapter 3, Part 5, and Part 24.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Manzione and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilman McCall?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Thanks, Chief. Item 10 is Resolution 2025-63, a resolution of the Tooele City Council consenting to the mayor's appointment of Hyatt Gardis and Ian Hurley to the Tooele City Tree Advisory Board, presented by Darwin Cook, the Parks and Recreation Director.
Thank you, Board. Thanks for allowing me to come before you this evening. In November of 2021, we approved the ordinance 2021-38 to enact a tree ordinance. And at that time, we created a tree advisory board. This was one of the steps that we took to become, or to actually reinstate our Tree City USA status or designation. At that time, we formed the board. We had the option of doing a 5-member board or a 7-member board. After our discussion, we decided to do a 7-member board with 3-year staggering appointments. This is a volunteer board, and so the members are not volunteers and serve without compensation. And as different situations happen, one of our board members, due to family change or family situation change, had to resign, and the other board member, his term had expired and chose not to be reappointed. So we put out posts for our 2 open positions, and as we reviewed those, we met with them, and we recommended that to the mayor that both Ian Hurley and Hyatt Gartas be recommended and put onto that board. So the resolution that I have before you is that both Ian and Hyatt be, what is the word I'm looking for? Approved to serve on that board. A little history about him. Ian's been a long-term member. He's currently attending a resident of Tooele City. He's currently attending Utah State and has studied the implementation of, I'm going to dumb this down a little bit, but of the effects of our environment on our urban ecology, and so how trees and other things affect us in our life and our wellness of life. And they're both very interested in helping us with our Arbor Day celebration. And as I spoke with Hyatt, and she's actually here tonight. Ian actually has a work commitment. He was going to try to make it, but he had a work commitment that he couldn't be here. But she is very interested. She was actually intrigued with so the public may not know this, and some of them may, that in the fall we donate, or we have a tree giveaway for fruit trees, and in the spring we have a tree giveaway for shade trees. And she was just very interested in this, and she has a lot of experience in communication and has a communication degree, and is very interested in helping promote that to the citizens. So I think they both will be great assets to our board. The board does meet. Our minimum for our tree designation is 4 times a year. So we do meet as a board. These are meetings that are open to the public. And we meet at 3 times in an actual formal setting, and we do count our actual Arbor Day celebration as our 4th meeting. So we will be putting them to work immediately. We have a charge of coming up with a plan for our tree replacement plan for City Park to keep the shade accessible there at the park, because we have a lot of aging eastern elm trees that we need to start addressing here shortly. So, any questions?
No, thank you for being willing to volunteer and serve on that board. Okay, any other questions or comments? I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-63, a resolution of the Tooele City Council consenting to the mayor's appointment of Hyatt Gartus and Ian Hurley to the Tooele City Tree Advisory Board.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
Aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Thanks, Darwin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Item 11 is Resolution 2025-67, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving an agreement with Trojan Technologies Corporation for UV disinfection equipment. This is presented by Paul Hanson, the city engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Council. Mr. Grand Prix had a conflict and wasn't able to be here tonight and asked if I would fill in for him. Tooele City has a reclamation facility that was constructed in the year 2000, and as we all know, especially me, as we get older and age, things have to be replaced and kept up. One of those elements that Mr. Grand Prix is requesting assistance on are upgrades to the UV disinfection process. This is a requirement of the state, and it's something that we need to do to be able to treat our effluent water. The city, on behalf, or JUB, the city's engineer on behalf of the city, solicited bids. It was not a low bid price. It was a tell us who you are, tell us what the equipment is you propose, and tell us how you perform, how you're going to back up, what your experience is. And so that was put out as a qualification price bid type element. And after doing evaluations, JUB came back and recommended that I can't say it correctly. Trojan Technologies Corporation, thank you, was their highest evaluated ranked proponent due to the complex and specialized nature of work. And they're recommending that we award a contract to them in the amount of $699,018. Now, if you notice in the bid price, the bid tabulation was listed at $633,501, which is different than the $699,018. That difference in price, I have learned, is due to 3 elements that were added to the base bid after the award. Those 3 elements were the option to require a performance and payment bond, which we believe is always good for contractors. There was an option for an extended 3-year warranty on service, and there was also an element to provide spare parts so that if we had to replace them in the future, we had the parts already available. Jamie is recommending that those 3 options be included, which up that amount to the $699,018 as shown in the resolution. Now, the resolution that you have before you tonight for consideration is different than the one that was published, in that it provides additional clarification on that bid selection, that it was done based on the highest ranking, and it also clarifies a little additional information on why the $699.18 versus the $633.501. So that is the resolution that is before you, and the administration and staff are recommending that you approve the resolution for the amount of $699,018 with a 10% contingency should there be conditions arise that are undetected at this point that would be used at the mayor's discretion.
Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, I have a question. Thanks for the explanation on the bid, and it also had a total life cycle cost. Is that something we're anticipating in the future, or it just said that the total life cycle cost is $990,864?
Typically, the life cycle cost, and again, the specifics on this I haven't been involved in, but typically the life cycle costs are based on what it costs you to operate and own and maintain it over the life of the system. Sometimes those costs can't be evaluated simply based on dollars because one might perform better than another, but that's intended to give you some feel for what it will cost to operate, to keep it in place with the purchase price factored in.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Paul. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve Resolution 2025-67, approving an agreement with Trojan Technologies Corporation for UV disinfection equipment.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Manzione and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0. Item 12 is Resolution 2025-69, a resolution of the Tooele City Council ratifying and approving an agreement with Russell Welding Corporation for stainless steel air lines at the water reclamation facility, presented by Paul Hanson, the city engineer.
Thank you again, Mr. Grand Prix. Asked me if I would present this one as well. Again, this is part of the city's reclamation plant that was constructed back in 2000. The oxidation ditch is where a good amount of the decomposition of the waste material occurs when it comes into the city's facility. And the need to oxygenate that waste is critical to the performance of the reclamation plant. You can imagine the corrosive nature of that waste and what it does to materials, even stainless steel. Because of the age of that aeration system, it's in imminent risk of failure and the lack of ability to keep up with the production need, which would be catastrophic for the city. Mr. Grand Prix solicited the council, I'm understanding, for authorization to proceed with the immediate repairs under emergency measures, which was approved, as I'm led to believe. And the city has undertaken that. We've got some temporary lines in place that Russell Welding has put in place. So tonight's action will be a ratification of that prior approval with Russell Welding to complete the process in the amount of $86,233.
Any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve Resolution 2025-72, a resolution of Tooele City Council approving,
69.
69, Resolution 2025-69, a resolution of Tooele City Council ratifying an approval and agreement with Russell Welding Corporation for stainless steel airlines at the water reclamation facility.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman McCall and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall?
I'm going to say aye, but I'm disappointed that Jamie's not here, so I can't complain him about spending money. But
important fix.
It's an important
but I know it is totally important. It
And I
is.
appreciate your restraint on my part as well, so thank you.
He explained to us about the Russell Welding thing and the UV. I've been there, and for those of you who've been there, you know what that UV does. Mm-hmm. So we really need that UV.
Yeah.
So my vote's aye.
Councilman Hanson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches?
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione?
I vote aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye.
Thank you, council.
Thanks, Paul. That passes 5-0. Item 13 is Resolution 2025-72, a resolution of the Tooele City Council approving a general consulting agreement with WSRP Certified Public Accountants regarding the city financial statements for fiscal year 25, presented by Shannon Wimmer, the Finance Director.
Good evening, Council. Dave, I just always want the opportunity to tell you, your jokes to Jamie are never lost on me, so you keep an eye on him and his spending, because I'm always back here just, yes. But as I say that, I bring to you a contract with WSRP. As you know, we just finished our fiscal year end on June 30th. So it is time for us to start preparing for our annual audit. And WSRP provides our consulting services to prepare the financial statements for the audit. We do this separately with another company doing the external audit. This year, their fee, they have a range depending on if we have new leases, bonds paid off. That's kind of why there's a fee range, is it depends on. There is some work there. We work very hard to keep them at the low end and provide them everything that we can do on our part to keep those fees low. But this year, that fee will stay within the range of $41,895 to $48,825 as a maximum. So we're just looking to get this contract in place so that we can start our year-end work to meet our audit deadlines.
Are there any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-72, a resolution of Tooele City Council approving a general consulting agreement with WSRP Certified Public Accountants regarding the city financial statements for FY25.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Goches and a second from Councilman Hanson. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
And Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon. Item 14 is Resolution 2025-70, a resolution of the Tooele City Council ratifying and approving insurance coverage for insurance period 2025 through 2026, presented by Shiloh Baker, the city recorder.
Thank you, Council. So this resolution, as Chairman Brady said, is to ratify and approve our insurance coverage for the insurance period 2025-2026 with the Utah Local Governments Trust in the amount of $341,522.32. That is broken up between a premium for liability coverage of $115,110.79, $111,047.68 for property coverage, and $115,363.85 for auto coverage. And one note that I would like to make is that if you compare the numbers from last year, the liability insurance coverage went down quite a bit and the auto insurance went up quite a bit. And that is because they had a liability insurance even for our autos under liability, and they have since moved that into the autos, which makes sense to me. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And this coverage did renew on July 1. That's why we're bringing it for ratification.
Are there any questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve Resolution 2025-70, ratifying and approving insurance coverage for insurance period 2025 to 2026.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Manzione and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilman McCall.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0.
I have a question. We don't have that resolution to sign.
Oh, because I brought it with me
Okay.
to read it to you.
Excellent.
We found it. There it is.
So now, thanks.
Item 15 is invoices and purchase orders presented by Shiloh Baker, the city recorder.
Thank you. Tonight, we just have one invoice. It is to Siddons Martin Emergency Group. It is for the fire department bunkers, fire coats, pants, and gear in the amount of $33,602.
Okay, any questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve the invoices. Invoice.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilman Hanson and a second from Councilman McCall. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye.
Thank you.
That passes 5-0. Thanks, Shiloh. And item 16 are the minutes from July 16th, 2025 work meeting and the July 16th, 2025 business meeting. Any corrections or questions? They look great, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Manzione and a second from Councilwoman Goches. We'll take it to a vote. Councilwoman Manzione.
Aye.
Councilwoman Goches.
Aye.
Councilman Hanson.
Aye.
Councilman McCall.
Aye.
I'm Councilman Brady, and I vote aye. That passes 5-0, and we are adjourned at